Dance Jam Productions.
7 o'clock on Saturday night, we all knew that we were in for a night of dancing on a crowded floor and having an awesome time. So this Moves for a Crowded Floor class is set up to make sure that you can have a great time dancing even when the floor is really crowded. We started out in this class by doing an exercise where we just lined up really, really tight shoulder to shoulder and did some passes and pushes where we were literally shoulder to shoulder with the person next to us. And we looked at how when you do a pass and there's somebody right next to you, you can use the shape of your body to slide by. So we can orient our bodies so that we can get past our partner more easily when there's less space. We also did that because generally speaking, that's a nice orientation to use when you're going down the slot. Instead of always being square to the slot, sharing it with your partner, with your body, is a way of shaping those patterns more easily. We also looked at the idea that whenever you take steps backwards, if it's in a crowd, you want to make sure you're not landing with your heel first. So we did a little exercise where we just walked backwards and made sure that our toes were hitting the ground first, and then rolling onto our heels so we wouldn't hit somebody with our heels. If you get meat in this one, you can release it. We also made sure if there's somebody back there, you can hit them with something squishy instead of something hard with your heel. So those are some of our preparation exercises for this class. We then looked at the idea that when you're in a crowded room, sugar pushes and whips are great patterns to do because they don't use as much space as some of the patterns that are passes. So sugar pushes and whips are your friend on a crowded floor. If you're on a crowded floor and you feel like you can't do all the moves you have in your repertoire, that means you're making good decisions on the crowded floor. There are better choices on a crowded floor than doing that really long, enormous pattern that you just learned that you're not super comfortable with. So that was part of what we were talking about, is editing the patterns you're using to make them work. But you don't always have to do plain sugar pushes and whips. You can dress them up. We also looked at how if you're going to do something like a left side pass, one of the techniques for a leader to do is make sure you check your rearview mirrors before you send her by. So we did a sugar push, and then had the leaders get off on the rail, check over that shoulder on the anchor step of the previous pattern so you can look and see that there's room. Once you've got that space, then you can lead her by into a left side pass. We also realized sometimes you do that. You're planning on doing a left side pass, so we do a sugar push. We're planning to do a left side pass next, but oops, there's somebody in the way. We can reverse it and change it into a sugar push, even though we were planning to do a left side pass. And that is something that leaders can certainly make that decision, but at times as a follower, you can also make that decision. You want to make it as gentle and easy for your partner to respond to it. But if both of you are tracking the floor, you can convert a pattern from a pass to a push if you need to when it's crowded. But after that, we looked at a way to dress up our sugar push. How do we lead into this one? Oh, we did a left side pass and switched hands. That's right. It's that cool one where the followers hardly even notice it's happening. So it was our sugar push. Check those rearview mirrors, leaders. And as you're turning around, you switch that hand as she goes by. She hardly even notices it's happening or remembers for the video review. From there, we did our sugar push, but we took this hand over the follower's head and then slid back out that arm to finish up our sugar push. We did the same thing from that hand position. We did the same thing with a little variation where we took this hand underneath and ended up in a left to left hand hold. Our exit from that was a pass underneath this arm. So that was our crowded floor. Oh, with the hand switch back. Right, again, the followers hardly notice that one when you switch it back. Super slick. So that was our setup class so that you guys could go out and have a great time dancing on the crowded floor on Saturday night. Thanks for having a great time at DCSX. www.kwcs.com.